Welcome to Lakers Central. So I decided to put together a video showcasing when the talking heads reporting of the Lakers is either wrong, disingenuous, or flat out biased. Way too often I see bloggers, analysts, and journalists putting out information on the Lakers that isn't accurate. I hope Laker fans use this video and continue to call bullshit whenever they see it also. Make sure you follow me across all social media at LakerCentral365. And here we go.
And you look at the cap space that they'll likely have available, they can't get involved with Kemba Walker, but they can get involved with D'Angelo Russell.
West to Los Angeles because, hey, LeBron, Anthony Davis, they both got their wish. But this team still has a lot of work to do to fill out that roster, Brian. What are the biggest hurdles still in front of them?
Yeah, the really good news is they've got two superstars staged. The bad news is they don't have much else. And I keep hearing people talk about their $22 million in cap space, but it's not $22 million. It's actually closer to $18 million because they're going to have to account for the cap hold of Reggie Bullock, which is about $4 million. In stage, they have no guards on their roster. I think there's a decent chance they may have to keep him.
They miscalculated. They didn't do the math. That's what happened. Not that somehow we didn't put the right emphasis on it.
On the cap.
They screwed up,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Their calculator did not work.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they don't have enough for another max player.
So back to your first point, this is bizarre to me and ironic that Rob Pelinka committed what to me is a fireable offense. He just completely miscalculated. It's so bad that it's laughably bad. They're back to laughingstock Lakers. You screwed up everything. You could have done 1,000 things to maximize your cap space, and maybe you would have a shot at number 2.
Right.
But you didn't, and you didn't even address that there's a $4 million trade kicker on AD's contract that you could have dispensed with if you say, hey, AD, think about this, but you got to get it all. You got to clear those decks to start
Gotta have
with.
it buttoned up.
You can't do it post-trade after you've announced the trade.
Yep.
Mike, what the hell is going on in this trade between the Lakers and the Pelicans?
And the thing about it is, we'll obviously talk a ton about it. There's a lot go between that trade, between what's going on in Boston and Houston. But I know you like to play the, you said there would be no math because you don't like doing math. I somewhat enjoy doing some simple math. This is beyond me.
Yeah.
Some of the numbers and things and old rules that are coming into play for some of the money here is just mind-boggling to what teams are trying to do and what they can do. You're buying draft picks. It's unreal, some of the steps now of what may be going on with this Lakers-Pelicans trade just to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I guess that's the interesting part is I just read down the list, and I'm somewhere in the middle of you guys where my eyes sort of glazed over because what I need to know about this situation is the Lakers are in the midst of trying to use every accounting trick that the league has to afford them in order to just try and field a team next year. Now, a lot of it is pointed towards this idea of a third max slot, but some of it at this point, and what we're waiting to see in an article that was published last night by Adrian Wojnarowski and Bobby Marks about this trade is, all right, what are the things, if any, that could possibly derail this thing? Because there appears to be one thing, at least, that we have in writing now that looks like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so let's set up the parameters here, okay? We all talked about it. It was Woj broke the story last week that the Lakers are going to pick up Anthony Davis on July 6th. He has a $4 million trade kicker in his contract that basically says if he's traded, guess what? You pay me $4 million.
Yeah,
okay?
Good for him,
Good
man.
for him.
Yeah.
So now there's this story out on ESPN.com with Bobby Marks and Adrian Wojnarowski that you guys alluded to, and the first line is, the Lakers are scrambling to reshape the parameters of the Anthony Davis trade with New Orleans.
So big weekend in LA, but their chances of getting a free agent to go with the big two hindered by the postmark essentially on the AD deal?
Yeah, they needed a July 30th completion of this deal with that number 4 pick in it to be able to have around $33 million in cap space, enough for a max deal. Right now, they're closer to $24 million.
The Lakers had to give up an incredible price to get Anthony Davis. One source described it to me as this could be a Herschel Walker type deal. I mean, you could make an argument that they gave up too much and they're not going to be able to fill out this roster. I think the Lakers just felt like they had to go for it. They may regret this, just like they did the Dwight Howard deal or the Steve Nash deal, but...
Thanks for watching the video. The purpose of this was really just to highlight how the Lakers are covered. And look, there were things made about the Lakers giving up too much to get Anthony Davis. Then there was questions about Rob Pelinka's ability to understand the cap and did he leave enough room to go after a max player. Ramona even said the Lakers may regret this. There were anonymous sources saying this was like the Herschel Walker deal in football. All this nonsense. All that, and the Lakers are best in the West, second overall in the NBA, and they're rolling. So subscribe to the channel, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, I'm out.